You can't let people tell you what's gonna happen. You gotta show them. And when you have consistency and resilience and you show up like you know, people will believe that. But I always said, if you don't take a risk, you won't have the story. I knew I could bet on myself. And I'll bet on myself again. I'm not gonna lose. It's no way. When your parents and when your family is always celebrating you, it tells a lot about your character when you're like, I'm tired of them always celebrating me. It's time for us to celebrate each other. And the whole goal for me was never to be the successful one. It was always to bring wealth in our family and legacy. And when you think legacy, you can't think you. There were so many times that I would overcompensate, thinking that I needed to do more. And now when I look back, I'm like, girl, you was always her. You were born with it. And if I would have knew sooner, I would have dodged some of the things that I've been through. I knew that women wanted a solution, and they needed to be shown that you don't have to just go to these high luxury brands. And even when you go to those high luxury brands, they still didn't have your complexions. So my trick was...
Welcome to another episode of Access Granted, where I give you exclusive access to entrepreneurs that are killing it in their industry. Today, I'm excited because I have been watching this young lady on social media for a very long time, and she is just dominating, and she looks good doing it. Chyna, welcome to Access Granted. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Listen,
no problem.
Hearing you was like, what? Like,
I just love everything that you're doing and how you show up online, but you do it so well. So I was like, I want to get to know her more, but what better place to do it than on Access Granted? So tell us more about Chyna, who you are, what you do, and how you got started.
First, I want to say thank you for having me.
No problem.
Because I've been watching you as well.
Thank
so
you.
It's mutual. My name is Chyna, and I have been an entrepreneur for the past 22 years, which I hate saying because it tells my age a little bit. But I'm a mom. And after that, I've been, grinding and working and like running my own business for the past 22 years. I opened my first beauty bar up 20 years ago, literally.
Wow.
In Best Stop, Brooklyn. At the time when I opened it up, people didn't even know what a beauty bar was. When I went to do my license and like get my LLC, they were asking me, was it a salon? And I was like, I didn't want to call it a salon because I was trying to change the narrative, but they didn't know where to fit it, So I kind of like changed the game in a sense.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And so you went from starting your own beauty bar 22 years ago.
Yes.
Now you have multiple companies
Yes.
and a lot of amazing things that you are doing. How has your journey been in entrepreneurship? I know online a lot of times we show the glam, right?
Yeah.
And we talk about how successful we are, but what are some challenges that you faced in starting your business?
One, first of all, I was a makeup artist first. So I started doing makeup, and I always wanted to, I knew as I was in the industry doing makeup, I knew that there was a space that was open for women of color. And it was so hard for us to find products that match our skin. And it was like, to me, I felt like they didn't give us luxury. It was like we was last pick. So I told myself that I wanted to create a line that would allow women of color to feel luxury and to know that they were worthy. Because these was demographics that we dominate in, but we didn't have no ownership in. So that was the whole idea behind, the concept behind having my own products. But the actual beauty bar, I used to be in a girl group. We used to be called the Dolls. And we used to promote these parties, and I was still a makeup artist. And I would always say, like, I want to open up this little beauty bar, and I want it to be like a little dollhouse, because women, we relate to that doll, like kind of vibe. So I was like, I wanted to have that type of, industry for us. But then when I opened up my first beauty bar, I thought I was going to be met with like so much inspiration. And I thought that black women like me were going to feel excited and feel like grateful, like if she could do it, I could do it, because that was the whole purpose behind it too. But it opened my eyes to self-hate. Opened my eyes to that for some reason as a black entrepreneur is 10 times harder for us to get a black consumer, And for me, it was like, that's why I know, like, how I feel like God introduced me, my passion introduced me to my purpose. So my passion is makeup, but my purpose is leading and being a leader in my community and like uplifting and employing my community, right? So I was like, this was a way that God had extended me to go to that next level, because I couldn't understand it. Because I'm thinking, y'all like me, and y'all come from where I come from. So because when we see things, we know we could do it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, when they come into this store and they see me, they're gonna be like, I can do it. And the more the more of us that say that we can do it, the more our culture can rise up, So those challenges were really hard. It took a toll on me, because I would go to like other women in the community that own businesses, but they were so intimidated. And I was looking for, uplifting. I was looking for support because now it changed the game. I wasn't just a regular girl from my hood. I was an entrepreneur. So I needed entrepreneur friends. I needed to know things. I wanted to know about taxes and things like that. We don't come from family that has accountants and things like that. So I think a lot of our blessings and like our lessons come hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I remember telling myself that I never wanted to be that. And I want to always share as much as I can because I remember how lonely it felt for me. And even now, I'm so grateful and happy how it is now. I feel like people do share more and it's more of us. And I feel like that 20 years ago has changed.
Yeah.
So it's just like so important to just keep pushing and just showing and telling my testimony. That's why I don't mind telling my story. Mm-hmm. Because for me, it's like, I have to. Because I feel like so many people be at the verge of giving up. And it's like when you hear that, I done been through it all. I had a fire. I had no family support. Thank God, my first 5 years in business, I only had liability insurance. Not realizing that liability insurance only covers my landlord and if something happens in my shop. But what about business insurance and all those things? So it was like I always wanted to just give information and pour into my community to inform them. Not signing your leases without looking at a contract because there's hidden agendas in there that will have you saying you sell half of your business. So I would get on my lives and I would just talk and tell my story. I've been telling my story, honestly, before it became cool. Mm-hmm. Like I would be in my captions. People would be like, why you don't just act like a bad bee? And I'd be like, no, because that's not important. Mm-hmm. I would use my captions specifically to have little messages in there. Keep going. It gets tough. Like you're going to lose everything. You got to sacrifice. You know, even when you fall, that doesn't mean you're really falling because sometimes God is looking for renewal over your life. And when you fall, it's like you find the new things. You get more inspired. Sometimes we get comfortable, and it's like, you get comfortable making money, and then it's like, God, let me shake you up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Let me put some competition in me. That's why I love competition. I think competition is necessary. Because if you get a little lazy, when competition come around, baby, you're going to get back on your grind.
You gotta shift.
So I love it. I embrace it.
I love it. And one thing I love about you and just how you are executing online is that you're such a girl's girl. Like it's always like, hey sis, or, comments or, just encouraging. And we don't see that. It's better, right?
A lot better.
But
better. Still more work needs to be done.
It's a lot more work to be done. And I just, I wish more of us could come together. The power of just so many amazing entrepreneurs coming together and just sharing insights and what's working for me or this didn't work for me and the value that we can add and pour into each other. But as you have grown and as you have, built this platform, what outside of the beauty bar, you've been able to branch off and start some other amazing things. A cosmetic line is huge, right? So let's talk about this cosmetic line. I know you started it so that we would be the focus point. Brown girls could be the focus point of this journey, but let's talk about this cosmetic line. Like and I know why you started it, but what gives you the fuel to keep going, and how successful have you been with starting this brand?
I remember when I first opened up my beauty bar, because when I opened my beauty bar up, I had my cosmetic brand together.
Okay.
So I remember saying someone had inboxed me on Facebook. I still got the message. And she was like, I don't understand. Like, you're going to open up a beauty bar. You're just going to have makeup and no hair or nothing. I said, yeah, it's somebody's birthday every day. Mm. There is someone's birthday every single day. And it's a reason to celebrate. And I'm like, I knew that there was a space. And I knew that there was going to be a market that was going to happen. You know how sometimes you're ahead of your time? Mm-hmm. And I knew that women wanted a solution. And they needed to be shown that you don't have to just go to these high luxury brands. And even when you go to those high luxury brands, they still didn't have your complexions. Mm-hmm. So my trick was, I get them in my chair and I give them an amazing beat. And then once they see the product on their face, it was automatically selling to them. So it wasn't like hustling. It was more stuff showing them this is what they need instead of what they want is what you need, So it caught on really quick. Like when I tell you, sometimes I can't believe it. I've been booked up since. And I still feel like we're like a hidden secret. Like we're still not as big as I think we should be. But I'm so grateful. We sell out every week. It's been 20 years and women are still saying, oh, I need your corrector stick. Oh, I need your foundation. Because even when trends were going, I remember people telling me, oh, Chyna, I think you should do this. You should do this. And I would say, well, this is the thing. Dollhouse is about allowing women to be enhanced and look like a better them. It is not to take away from them. It is not to just be a trend. This is flawless. This is legacy. This is our grandmothers. You know what I mean? Like, so a lot of my clients, I call them my dogs, because a lot of them went from high school to their college graduation, to their new job, to their baby showers, to their weddings. So they've took a journey with us, you know? So Dollhouse is more than just a beauty brand. It's a legacy. It's a legacy and it's a love letter to women of color, you know? And I think that that's what have kept us successful, is the story behind it, you know? And especially me being a brown girl. We know that colorism exists. And being a brown girl, oftentimes you're told that you shouldn't be in the front. That's what made me do my collection. So I have a collection with my picture on there. And a lot of people tell you, I know that you've been in business, and they'll tell you as a black woman, like, maybe you shouldn't be in the front of the camera.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need to be on the product. And I said, well, we need to combat that narrative, because I think that it's so many of us that's so beautiful, and our bloodline is so beautiful. Why shouldn't we see ourselves? So I wanted to fight against that narrative, and we sold out. We dropped on that Monday, and we made $300,000 in an hour. So I said, you can't let people tell you what's going to happen. You got to show them. And when you have consistency and resilience, and you show up like you know, people will believe that. So it's like, yeah, this brown girl is on the cover. This brown girl's in your face, and we're going to continue to be in your face.
I love that for you.
You know?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So there's somebody watching this right now, and they're probably like, how did you do it? Yeah. You know, people always want to know. They want to come straight to you and say, how do I do this? Or how did I do that? What was the journey like to making this happen? Like, how did you truly build it from starting from 20 years ago to being one of the first beauty bars to now having a cosmetic line that's selling out, you know, in an hour? How?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. God.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you something. When I tell you God ordained my steps, if I take y'all back to 20 years ago, I had $10,000 saved up. And I went to this chemist, local chemist. Anytime you're manufacturing a product locally, it's so expensive, right? And if I knew what I know now, I would be $100 million up. I didn't know. So I went to a local manufacturer, and I came with $10,000, and she laughed at me. She looked at me like I was crazy. She was like, it's no way you're going to start a full line. Like, I didn't have just a lip gloss line. I had foundations, concealers, brow kits. I wanted a full line. I wanted to cater to women. And you can't cater to women with just one product, right?
Yeah.
So I go to her. But something about me she liked. And she was a white woman. And she told me, she said, okay, you got $10,000. And I love your enthusiasm. I love that you think that black women matter, because she said the numbers didn't show that. She said the numbers did not show that black women would buy makeup, their colors. And I was just like so confused by that. At this point, I worked for MAC, I worked for Lancome, I worked for Chanel. So I know that black women exist in this industry. So she was like, you got to show me something. So I went back home, and I would remember thinking, okay, I'm going to put together an event. And I put together this event called Glam Day. And I don't know who told me to charge $10. But I charged $10. I had a girlfriend, and she did hair. And I was like, okay, so we're going to have this event. We're going to charge $10 for women to come get like a quick beat and their hair pressed out. Wow. $10. But this is like 20 years ago. So don't look at me like I was on drugs or something. But so because I wanted to get them in. And I know $10 was like so affordable. And we was going to have champagne, and we was going to have cocktails and, cupcakes and hors d'oeuvres, and just give women. I've always wanted to pour into women and love on women. So I'm like, just give them an experience, right? And I had told her about the event. And I told her, I said, I could give you this $10,000. And if you make me a couple of units, I promise you, you're going to be wild. And she was like, okay. She said, I'm gonna front you. You give me that 10, I'm going to front you $10,000 more worth of products. If you don't make those sales, you're going to owe me $40,000. And I had to sign a contract. So now I don't know who told me to go. But I always said, if you don't take a risk, you won't have the story. Yeah. And I said, I have nothing to lose. Everything that I've ever wanted, everything that I knew I can do, I knew I could bet on myself. And I'll bet on myself again. I'm not going to lose. It's no way, right? So I put together this event, and I was all on Facebook promoting it, and I was going in my contacts, and we had over 300 women come.
Wow.
We had 300 women come.
That's so dope.
And it was overwhelming, and I was going crazy. And thank God for my mother and my sister. My mom was selling makeup. My mom was being a bartender. My sister wasn't even old enough to serve drinks, but she was serving them, right? And they bought up everything. And she came. Her name was Roberta. She came to the event. I didn't know she was going to come. And she was so impressed.
Wow.
She was so impressed. I gave her 10. And then I was able to have 20 more thousand to do my line. So that's when Dollhouse was really birthed. And we were locked in for years. She actually recently passed away, and I went to her funeral because without her, and it's the white woman, you know, you never know. That's why, you know, it's so funny how the world that we in now today, we say that we should be over here and we should be over here, but love is love. And when someone sees something in you, it doesn't matter what complexion you are, what race you are. When someone see it in you, they see it, and she saw it in me. Yeah. And she took a chance on me, and I would never forget that, you know? And that's another thing too. If somebody take a chance on you, you better show up. Yeah. Preparation meets opportunity. When you prepare for the opportunity, you can seize it. So that was the beginning of it. And when I tell you, I never look back. I don't even know how I kept running. Like I've been running for a long time, but it's really for me having my daughter, seeing my sister, building legacy with my mom and my sister, like being able to open up a nail salon with my mom and my sister. We just opened up in June 7th was our grand opening.
Congratulations.
And to bring entrepreneurship to my younger sister and to my mom is always what I wanted to do, because sometimes, right, when your parents and when your family is always celebrating you, it tells a lot about your character when you're like, I'm tired of them always celebrating me. It's time for us to celebrate each other. And the whole goal for me was never to be the successful one. It was always to bring wealth in our family and legacy. And when you think legacy, you can't think you. You know what I mean? So it was always on my mind, legacy, legacy. I just always thought that. And I was always say, like, when my kids sit at the front of my funeral, because the way it's supposed to be is I want my kids to bury me, right? Praise God. They won't hear about how fly I was. They would hear the impact that their mother had and what I've done, you know what I mean? And that meant more to me than anything. So I've always just lived my life with thinking that the next person after me need to do better and know better, because I really love being Black and I really love Black people, like unapologetically do, you know? So it's like everything that I do is always in the likeness of them and wanting to see us be better, because as a Black woman is extremely hard, you know? And just wanted to be better for my children. And with this journey, I was able to put my son through college and buy a house and take care of my mom and take care of my family, you know, be able to change lives. And I was just looking back and I was like, my yes really changed our whole life. Yes. You know?
That's amazing.
So I'm like, yeah, thank God, right? Yeah. I had the strength, the courage enough to go and just do it, you know?
That risk. Yeah. You took the risk, and now it's opened up opportunities, not just for you, but for your entire family. Congratulations to you.
Thank
That's
you so
huge.
much. Thank you so much.
Recently, I did something very similar, took the risk. I was actually terminated. I say I was fired into freedom.
Wow. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I was fired or terminated from Wells Fargo for teaching entrepreneurs how to get access to funding and opportunities for their business. And I just decided to go all in, right? I took the risk to go all in and start teaching more and educating more. And within a very short amount of time, built this platform where now we've helped thousands of entrepreneurs secure millions of dollars in funding. But it started with my yes. It started with me taking the risk. And, recently just retired my mom.
Love that.
And now she's on a journey of trying to figure out, where she stands in entrepreneurship. Like, I want a business. I want to do something. So being able to bring her on this journey with me. So I share the feeling, right, of being able to celebrate success with your family and build a legacy together.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's so powerful. Entrepreneurs that are watching this right now, especially a young lady that might want to be in the beauty industry. Maybe she wants to start her own cosmetic line, or maybe she wants to start a beauty bar. What advice do you have?
I would say first, you got to know who you are, because in anything that you're doing something different is always going to bring so much different experiences and is going to test you. And anything that's worth something is not going to be easy. So I would say definitely study your craft. Know why you want it. Because when you don't have a reason behind why you're doing something, as soon as the going get tough, you'll let go. Mm-hmm. You have to have a reason why you're doing it. And if it is to make money, money can be an inspiration. I feel like, especially as people of color, I feel like it's almost like people expect us to have all these great stories behind it. But if you just want to make money, you just want to make money, and that's okay, right? But have your reason and why, and understand that every time you go through something, it's not to destroy you. It's really meant to build you up. I really believe that every time I go through some stresses or anything I go through, I'll be like, God, thank you. Because I know that he's given me the burdens because I'll be able to handle it. And after the burdens comes the blessings. Mm-hmm. A lot of us want the blessing but don't want the burden. But they go hand to hand, So I would say get ready. Get ready and stay ready. And another thing too, prepare after you pray. Because when you pray, you get it. But most of us do not prepare for what we prayed for.
Ooh, that's so powerful.
So now by the time that it comes to us, we let it slip through because we didn't prepare for what we prayed. And you have to really believe what you're praying in. Because if you don't believe in you praying and then it come your way and then you miss the opportunity, it's like, God is he's a real thing.
That is so
He's real. He doesn't lie.
Not at all.
So when he say he got you, he got you.
Got you.
You know? So that's another thing in my life right now is not mismanaging my blessings. Because I mismanage a lot of blessings. I've mismanaged them by being, insecure, too loyal, not standing my ground. So I said in this season of my life, we're not mismanaging blessings anymore. We're taking it to the fullest potential. In this season of my life right now, I genuinely feel like it's either now or never. This is like my pivotal moment. It's like this was everything I ever worked for. This is everything I've ever done. Like this is it. This is the final. This is it. All the pain, all the trauma, all the experiences, all the, I had a fire. My store burned down. Rebuilt it. Was open for a whole year. Open only for a week, and then my store burned down. And was rebuilding it for a year. And just all these things that I've been through. For these moments now, it was all worth it, and it was all for me to get to my fullest potential.
That's amazing. Oh, this is powerful. You have a really powerful story.
Thank you.
So what do you tell Chyna, the young lady from Brooklyn, right?
Yes, East New York, Brooklyn, okay?
So what do you tell like little Chyna from Brooklyn, like outside, sitting on a stool?
Yeah, oh my God, I used to sit on the stool.
Yeah, so what do you...
You are literally telling my story.
Yeah, what conversation do you have to her? And encouragement do you have today, just younger you, to just keep pushing and keep going?
Girl, I literally be having conversations with myself the other day, and I'm like, girl, look at you. Girl, look at you, little brown girl from East New York. Little brown girl from East New York who ended up being a single mother. Look at you. Look at all you have done. And I would tell myself, like, you enough. You enough, because there were so many times that I would overcompensate, thinking that I needed to do more, to be more. And now when I look back, I'm like, girl, you was always her. You were born with it. And if I would have knew sooner, I would have dodged some of the things that I've been through. So I wouldn't change anything because I feel like it made me who I am. And for me, right, I know my story was meant. I have a testimony. Some people don't have the privilege to have a story like that. And it empowers me because it lets me know that I can relate to so many things. I can go in a room and I can relate to someone at a fire. I can relate to someone who lost a child. I lost my first child. I could relate to someone who lost a companion. So I feel like that's so purposeful, And again, like I told you, my passion introduced me to my purpose. I didn't know that makeup was going to lead me to walking in my purpose and speaking to women and speaking to my men, to black men and black women, and just being that pillar for them in my community, like showing up. And so many girls write me and say, Chyna, you tell your story and it inspired me so much. And I'm like, that's all I ever wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's all I ever wanted to do. It was never about money. It was never about popularity. It was always about us and being more than what people intended you to be. People told me that I was not going to be anything because I had a baby at 19. My son probably was going to be in prison. My son graduating college next year. My son has never been convicted of a crime. His father been in prison. So like statistics say that it's supposed to be different. But yeah, guess what? Those statistics can lie and it can change. And look at our story. I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years, and I'm proud of that. And that is a journey for me, and I'm going to keep on running the marathon and keep on continuing. I'm opening the cafe. Yeah. Makeup was dedicated to women of color. Cafe is global. I feel like coffee bring people together no matter what race you are. Everybody can love a good cup of coffee, right? And I just wanted to transition over to something more diverse and diverse my portfolio. The nail salon was bringing luxury again in a space where 2% is owned by black people. And if you think about it, if you look at the nail salons, we dominate the nail salons. All these places we dominate, but we are not the owners. So us opening a nail salon was not about just making more money. It was about building legacy again and saying, if you see us, when you see us, see yourself. Because we want, and guess what? I want to say this here, that there are so many other black nail salons that exist, right? But they couldn't rise up because at the time, we wasn't the first to do it. We probably wasn't even the 100th did it. But what happened was at the time that a lot of them, like I did 20 years ago, opening a beauty bar, black women weren't ready to see black nail salon owners. So today is a different position. And I want to say shout out to other women that opened up black nail salons and it didn't survive because of the lack of support. I'll say do it again because it's changing. And people are waking up and we're using our platforms and speak up. Like, listen, we're tired of letting people dominate industries that we're at. We have to get comfortable with seeing each other in spaces that we don't expect to see each other. Because we ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere. We
ain't going nowhere. And if I can help you open a nail salon, please, I want to help you. I'm tired of the Vietnamese owning everything. And they don't even respect us or honor us.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Chyna, this has been an amazing,
it's been a journey.
It's been an amazing episode. Is there anything else you want to share or last piece of advice before we close it out?
I would say love on your people.
Yeah.
Love on your people and understand that the more that we come together in our community, as soon as we make $1, we lose it in 2 minutes. Be more intentional with the money that you spend, you know, and just know that instead of thinking that it only could be one of us, think about it. It can't be just one of us. How? Look at us. We all have done so many great things. That is the trick to keep us separated. I think that I want Black women to know that I need you. I want you around. I want to connect with you. I love Black men. I'm here for you. I want to be a pillar in my community and keep letting them know that you can do anything that you want to do, because I love everybody, but I love my people more than anything. And I just want us to know that we need to come together more, unite more, and trust each other again. You know, my lawyer Black, my accountant is Black, my CPA is Black. Like I have so many Black people around me, not because I just think that Black people better. It's just that I want to put them in position. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And I want to trust my people again. Like we got to trust each other. We can't unite if we don't trust each other.
That's so dope.
You know? So I started with me, like I'm literally saying I'm empowering Black. I want Black. I'm Black. Yeah. You know?
This has been another amazing episode of Access Granted. I want you to make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, share this with 3 other entrepreneurs that you know could use the same information. See you next time.